back. Stay tuned if you want to learn about pages 216 to 220 of The Science of Black Hair by Audrey Davies Sabasothi. Lots of great tips, you guys, on the transitioning section for those of you who are transitioning to natural. I'm also going to share my tips on how I transition. All right, let's get started. Okay, you guys, so this chapter was great. Nice, short, sweet, to the point. She covered all the good basics. I really loved it. So let's just dive right on in, okay? One of the things she talked about is she said that transitioning requires a mental investment in the process because literally, you know, your perception of how you look to yourself is you may or may not like how you look, and so you may be nervous about how you're going to look. So I like that she said it's a mental investment into the process. So it can be quite personal and emotional for some. Totally. And she also mentioned that society places a premium on straight flowing hair. Many times hair that doesn't fit this profile is shunned in the media and everyday lives. And sometimes for some people, even in their work environment, it's like, you didn't do your hair today, it's not straight. You know, you're like, but it grows out of my hair out of my scalp this way. What are you saying? I mean, this is how my hair grows. You know, what are you talking about? So anyway, there's all of that stuff that comes along with it emotionally or can stress you out sometimes. So she kind of talked about that. So then she said you may have to educate some people on your choice. And I like that. You know, educating people on the choices that you make for your life, normally none of your business. I chose it, whatever. But I like the fact that, you know, some people may not understand it. Some people may not really understand. They're confused. They're used to your hair looking one way for a long time, and they just were completely oblivious to the fact that this isn't how your hair is. So they may be a little confused, and then you have an opportunity versus to be defensive just to educate them on your choice. And they don't have to agree with it. I mean, it's your hair, but if you want to take the time, those of you who ain't got the time, I feel you. If you want to be here with it, The most important thing she said is that furthermore, you must acquire a whole new set of styling skills required to maintain your natural hair and its needs as it changes. That is so true, you guys. When I first went natural, I was trying to do all the techniques I did when I had permed hair, and they're just completely different techniques. It's different textures. One doesn't have a chemical in it, the other does. The hair, the protein being broken down, how you even comb your hair. I mean, think about it. When you had a perm, you combed your hair a lot of times from here down. You just, brush through your hair and comb through it. When you're natural, you're going from the bottom up, and then when you get to the top, you're coming back down to the bottom to get all the tangles out. So a lot of things are just different about the rules for natural hair versus straightened hair. So I thought that was interesting. Essentially, your hair must be transitioned to natural because you cannot undo the permanent bond breaking caused by a relaxer. So if you are going to go natural, there are only two ways to go natural. Now, this is not for a debate, you guys, okay? I'm not trying to be like, but seriously, you're either going to big chop and chop it all off, or you're going to transition slowly, meaning you're going to gradually cut off your permed hair to where all the chemically processed hair is no longer on your head, okay? Now, I'm not going to get into whether or not you use heat and all that other stuff. I don't care about none of that. I'm just saying, in terms of if you want to have only hair on your head that does not have a chemical on it, you can either, one, chop it all off and do the big chop and jump all in and be gung-ho, and that's great. That works for some girls, or some girls don't want to have that drastic of a change, so they decide to do it slowly and gradually, either transitioning with protective styles like braids, which is what I did, or some people, just slowly cut it off. Some people just wait and they grow it out and don't even cut any of the permed hair off, and then they get their natural hair the length they want, or 5 or 6 inches or whatever, and then they chop off all the permed ends. So there's all different types, whatever you prefer, your style. There's no one way that's the right way. It's whatever's right for you, okay? She did say take the time to educate yourself on natural hair care. Don't get overwhelmed by conflicting information. Okay, listen to your own hair and select a few people who have similar hair types and textures and goals to follow for inspiration. Once again, educate yourself. Read reputable books like this one. Okay, get it. You will need it. Please don't try to Please save yourself the headache of jacking your hair up, it falling out, getting damaged. Get the book. Read reputable books like The Science of Black Hair to learn the inner workings of your hair and how to take care of it. It will save you time. You will reach your hair goals a lot faster, and you will not be as frustrated because you will understand why your hair is doing what it's doing and why it feels the way it feels and what it needs nutritionally or from a product perspective for you to get it back on track, okay? She said the best transitioning styles are protective styles: buns, braid outs, twist outs, braided styles, and sew and weave. I'm going to read you a section off of page 219 that I liked. She said, maintaining transitioned hair. Heat should be minimized as much as possible to prevent damage to natural tresses. Excessive heat straightening to blend natural and relaxed textures during a transition can have a permanent effect on natural hair, causing it to lose its precious curl pattern. Conditioning efforts will need to be stepped up to ensure a healthy moisture balance is maintained between the two textures. Demarcation breakage is also a major concern of transitioners. Always use great care when manipulating transitioning hair. Getting through a stretch for transition. Here are the tips, okay? Decrease the use of heat. Reduce combing and styling manipulation, okay? You want to use a lot of protective styling. Keep your hair fully detangled at all times to avoid matting or creation of locks. Keep your hair fully detangled with a seamless comb. Okay. Only comb relaxed stretched hair while it is slightly moisturized, damp, or wet. Period. Dampness improves hair elasticity and allows the comb to glide through the two textures for detangling with minimal resistance. Do not attempt to comb through air-dried hair, as this will lead to breakage, okay? That line of demarcation, with the line of demarcation is the new afro-textured, gorgeous, kinky, coily hair that's coming in, and then you have your hair right here that's permed, your chemically processed hair. This hair has been weakened because the perm has broken the bond of the protein in the hair. The stronger hair meets the weaker hair. And at that particular junction where they meet, that's the line of demarcation. So a lot of times when you're transitioning and you're combing through your hair, when you go from the force to get through the strong, you get to the weaker hair, and that force breaks that hair. It breaks along that line, okay, where the stronger hair meets the weaker hair. So you want to be very gentle when handling your hair. Make sure it's damp. That's why she's saying not a lot of manipulation, okay? You want to get motivated, and you want to set clear hair goals. Okay, that's so key when your natural journey, so you won't become frustrated and just want to give up. She said get motivated and set clear hair goals that you can celebrate and be excited about. So goal setting is an important part of transitioning. It's important to write down small, achievable goals and work towards them one day at a time. For example, improve your hair's thickness. That was the first one I did, you guys. That was the first one I did. OMG, the castor oil. I heard it thicken the hair. I was like, well, let me start with something that is like, okay. And I saw my hair thicken. And I was like, oh, okay, wow, it really works. Okay. So then she said to monitor your protein and moisture levels. That is very, very important. Page 220, she says, maintaining the proper protein moisture balance is critical during a transition to prevent unnecessary hair breakage. Increase deep conditioning efforts as you progress along past the date of your last relaxer treatment. Like those who are simply stretching out relaxer applications, many transitioners find that conditioner washing, co-washing, improves their moisture profile significantly and cuts down on breakage, okay? And then she talked about you wanted to have a customized hair care for 2 different textures on your head, okay? So she said, as a relaxer transition progresses and the natural texture becomes dominant, customizing the product regimen to the 2 types of hair, natural and processed, may become necessary, okay? A hybridized, I love that, hybridized, hair, relaxed and natural hair together was never intended to be maintained simultaneously on one head. We were never supposed to have 2 different textures, permanently straight, chemically processed, and natural on our head. That's why there's not products for it. So she said, and each type has its unique needs and challenges. For example, natural new growth tolerates frequent hydrating and conditioning better than relaxed hair. Similarly, the regular protein treatments that relaxed hair thrives on may prove to be too much for natural new growth over time, which means your hair may start to feel straw-like and brittle, the natural hair. Remaining attentive to the hair's needs as they change for each texture, therefore, is very important. Specifically, incorporating conditioner washes between regular deep conditionings can help keep moisture levels high. To keep the protein balance in check, use a mild protein conditioner or reconstructor every 2 to 3 weeks with your moisturizing deep conditioner as your hair dictates. Note, as you progress with transitioning, it is not uncommon to find your hair needs less protein than before. You don't have to do it alone. Seek the company of other naturals. So ding, ding, ding. That would be us. If you're transitioning, we'd love to hear it. Let me know. If you have questions, post them below. You know, having a girlfriend, having a support team is so important, you guys. I have 2 hair mentors. I love them. They're awesome. And whenever I have questions, I go to them and they walk me through it, because in some ways, although I've been natural since '98, in other ways, you know, I didn't start actually taking care of my own hair until 2010. So there's a lot of things that I'm learning because I already had a hairstylist that was maintaining my hair perfectly. Who was the bomb? Kathleen! Y'all know how I love my Kathleen. So those were her tips. And then I will just briefly go over my personal tips. Okay. Kathleen! Love Kathleen, you guys. I transitioned with braids. They were stylish, they were hip, they were in. Everybody was doing them. From Moesha, back in the day. Mo to the, E to the, Mo to the, E to the. Okay, shout out Brandy. Loving her because she really brought braids to the forefront, made them really cool, made them really acceptable in America, because she was like an all-American girl and she was wearing braids, and then they became more prevalent in the workforce, more acceptable. Then, you know, Beyonce was on Destiny Child CD cover with her hair in cornrows, and, you know, Yo-Yo had braids, Jada had braids, you name them, everybody had braids. So it was easy for me to transition and be stylish at the time because they were really in style. Then when I got tired of braids, I went to 2-strand twists. When I got tired of 2-strand twists, I went to quick weaves. Like when it was like you just put a couple cornrows in and tack on some curly hair and have a couple of braids in the front, like they were going into your hairstyle. And I'd wear that for like a month. Then when I got tired of that, because I was like, I'm always in a braid, then I went into weaves. Like, okay, a full weave sewn in, completely like a curly weave transitioned. So I had a lot of, you know, different variety and different looks. And each time I would take my hair down, she would trim off my hair. The length, whatever grew in from the top, if I had an inch or 2 of new growth on the top, she'd cut an inch or 2 off of the permed hair. And by the time I came out, I was completely transitioned. I had all natural hair on my head. I think it took about 1.5 years to do it, so that was amazing. And most importantly, when someone braids your hair, you guys, watch the hair braiding weaves video tutorial. There'll be a link at the end. Science of Black Hair, Hair Braids and Weaves. I go over how tight your braids should or should not be. If your braider braids too tight, you will lose hair, you will have alopecia. So make sure you watch the video, you guys, because just because your hair is in braids, there's still things you have to do to maintain it. There's things you have to do to take care of it, and there's still techniques that have to be followed, okay? So anyway, that was all of the tips. If you guys have any questions, if you are a transitioning girl, let me know. Kudos, congrats. If you are somebody that, you know, is nervous about your regimen and you have regimen questions, post it so we can all try to, you know, help each other, okay? Please share the video, you guys. Please, please share. Please, please, if this video was helpful, please thumbs me up. Bam, bam, bam. Get your thumb on. Ratings do count. I really want you to give me good ratings. And also, please subscribe and please join my Hot Castor Hair Growth Challenge, you guys. I am loving it. You guys can see my hair. It is really thriving. It's a little dirty right now. It's a little big, but it's kind of like, woo, I'm liking this. It's like really fluffy and everything. So I'll probably have to do a tutorial on that soon. So anyway, that's all. Thanks for watching. Lots of love. Mwah, mwah.